Hello folks, and welcome to another Richard Head Longbows video. You've probably seen us do some videos before on cresting machines, and in fact we did do a review of one, an electric one that we did for boning, I believe, right, for their type. A crester, if you don't know, is a machine which spins the arrow for you so that you can apply painted cresting decoration to your arrows to differentiate them between yours and other people's at a shoot, or just to give them some artistic flair and make them your own. Something that a lot of people have asked in those videos is how do they make one, or can you make your own, or we got any plans, or what have you. Well, we do have a homemade one here, and Richard's going to tell us a little bit more about it.
Right, we thought perhaps we ought to do our little bit about saving the planet, not using electricity. So this one is just hand powered. It was actually made by Philip's grandfather, who made the electrical one we use out of an old record player motor, which works very well. This one is hand-made one, hand turned, so you turn the shaft by hand. His grandfather was an electrical mechanical engineer, and if he thought, well, why buy something when you can make it? Let's make it. And he tended to make things fairly complicated, but using old bits he found around the house, taps and things, probably based on his wartime experiences where he was involved in turning double-decker buses into submarines. Well, not actually submarines, but they were
not literally.
They didn't work. They didn't work very well. The top deck was always out of the water,
and the rest leaks.
So no, it was for training submariners in life in submarines, but without actually going into the sea. And I think
a pretend on-land submarine.
That's right. I think they drove these things down to Portsmouth or Plymouth or somewhere for the submariners to train on, and then drove them back home again, so they didn't get bombed during the
so they were sort of hidden at the weekend
during the air raids.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's all a bit odd.
And then after the war, he made a television set out of old army surplus radar stuff, and I think you only saw the picture as it went round, and it was green. But that's another.
I know this sounds like he's making it up. He's not. This is all true.
Anyway,
so that's what we've got. So I think yes, it's time to have a look at the invention that we've got here.
Right. Well, you can turn the handle that end if you like, just to show. Without any cresting. So you've got basically a drill, a hand drill attached to a metal rod. You've got a support in the middle, which doesn't have to be this fancy with turned little wooden wheels, but that holds the shaft. And then this end, another piece of equipment, don't know what it was, probably found at a car boot sale somewhere, that holds the end of the shaft. It's all on a piece of ash, which I got hold of. I was a surveyor at one time, and that was out of a bank that we refurbished, so that was probably a door jamb or something like that. Brackets holding the whole thing together, and it actually works quite well.
Can I stop turning it?
You can stop.
I'm going to move the camera around now so we can have a closer look. Hold on.
We've not used it that much ourselves. Okay, let's have a closer look at see what we've got, see the adjustment we've got in it. The centre support with the wheels that rotate with the shaft, you can move that out of the way. The centre section is also adjustable. You can probably see there's a couple of screws and washers, so you can loosen those and slide that in and out to adjust for the shaft. And as we said, this moves up and down and would turn in and out as well. There's an adjustment in there. It's all pretty adjustable, really. Amazing. The other end, the pile end, you've got this piece which slides backwards and forwards and is adjusted to fit the end of the arrow shaft. At the other end, we've got the drill with the knock locator fitted in it, which is one from a Sherwood jig, just held in the chuck. So this is adjustable. It's got a knob there which you can undo, so you can adjust the angle. Obviously it needs to be high enough to turn, and this also slides up and down to adjust for your length of shaft. So we just tighten that up, so we're just clearing there. So putting the shaft in, goes into the knock locator, and then we adjust this end to fit the shaft, so it goes in, and then that comes down to support the shaft in the center. So you rotate it with your left hand and then paintbrush on there, and it's a bit like the operation of rubbing your stomach and patting your head. So if you've got someone else to turn this would be great. We were wondering about fixing a turn wheel with a little dog inside it to do it, but we've thought better of it. Probably not a good idea. And so you turn it, put the paintbrush on and go along. We haven't used it much ourselves, but a member of the Royal Company of Archers has, who is a knight of the realm, and he wanted to put various rings on sets of arrows that people were using in practice sessions, really, so they knew which was which and knew the length of the arrows. So he has used it, so it must work. And it, you know, as a handheld thing, works quite well. So if anyone has got a load of bits like this and fancies making something up similar, why not?
Well, there we are. I hope you found that interesting and potentially useful if you want the plans on how to make this. Tough, we don't have any. We've absolutely no idea what my grandfather did.
No, and as he worked for the government, he signed the Official Secrets Act.
Yeah, so we can't tell you anyway.
Taking the plans to his grave,
Yes,
I think.
yes, we can tell you where his grave is. Maybe it's in there, maybe it's not. But yeah, hopefully that's given you some potential hope that you can make your own. And you don't have to spend a fortune on an expensive one if you don't have the money spare and you want to have a go at cresting, which is a nice thing to do. I mean, there are alternatives like wraps and things like that which you can put on.
That's a musical thing, wasn't it?
Is it wraps? Yeah. I like colouring the arrows. It's good.
That's
it makes
the
them
one,
look
yeah,
great.
great.
That's it.
Love that.
Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, we don't mean that. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to subscribe, that's probably covering Richard's face now, that subscribe button, and I'm probably covered in some videos of using other cresting machines that you may find useful, and all the other details are in the description box below. And yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon.